Do you believe in the law of attraction? Yes. Hello and welcome back to the She is Courageous podcast. This week I am talking about the law of attraction, one of the most talked about, hyped up concepts in the personal development world. I mean, just for anyone that's not familiar with the law of attraction, I should caveat now that I can be a little bit cynical. I do have some challenges and issues around the way that the law of attraction is portrayed. But I will say now, I do believe in the law of attraction. I just want to throw that out there right now. Okay? But here's the challenge. The law of attraction is often portrayed as think positive thoughts, believe in abundance, and the universe will magically deliver everything you desire. Now, that's not how it works. And I want to be really clear about the premise of this podcast today is I want to talk about how the law of attraction can work. I want to bring in a bit of science. I don't do woo. Actually, that's not entirely true. I've become more and more woo curious over the last few years. And if you're thinking, what does she mean woo? What's that? Woo, that's a cocktail, right? What I mean by woo is I'm not particularly spiritual. I don't buy into the idea that you can sit back, visualize success, and watch the money roll in without actually doing anything. And when I make sweeping statements like I'm going to today, I want to be really clear. I'm not saying that that's what everybody thinks, but I am going to say that is what can often be suggested when people talk about the law of attraction. People talk about the law of attraction, which is exactly as the term suggests. It is a universal principle that suggests we attract what we want to us. Okay, and so sometimes this can be taken in really extreme ways. In that, it's this kind of if you believe in abundance, you'll attract abundance. If you are negative, you will attract negativity. I'm being really, really facetious and extreme with it. And I want to be really clear. It's not that simple, actually. And sometimes the law of attraction is positioned almost magically. Now, I am a business mindset coach, okay? I work with people predominantly on their businesses. A lot of life stuff comes in. And I am so passionate about people understanding their mindset and understanding that mindset plays a role in success, okay? And the law of attraction, the principles of the law of attraction is a mindset. But I do not believe that there is a magical universe that if I think really hard and if I create a vision board and stand in front of a mirror and talk to myself every single day saying the things I want, that I will get them. That is not what I believe happens. But what I know is that if we strip away the magical thinking, there is actually real science behind why what we focus on does impact what we achieve. And that is fundamentally the law of attraction. The law of attraction is fundamentally us saying, if we focus our mind onto the things that we want to achieve, we will do so. And I'm going to tell you how that works, okay? My promise is always that I keep these episodes short and really succinct. So I could talk about this for hours, okay? But I'm going to dive straight in and really share with you what the scientific answer to the law of attraction is. It's called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. And you can go and Google it, and it will tell you everything you need to know. There are many coaches out there that speak about it. I'm going to tell you actually, so a very famous coach, a very famous podcast host, Mel Robbins, she talks about the Reticular Activating System too, and I love how she describes it. I want to talk about the Reticular Activating System. I want to be really clear about what it is and how actually, if you understand this, like I do, you will believe in the law of attraction because you will understand the science of the law of attraction, and then you can make things happen, because fundamentally that's what it is about. The law of attraction has become this very romantic promise of an effortless path to success, and that is not what it is. It's not endless vision boarding but no actual action. It's not waiting for a sign from the damn universe rather than making a decision. It's not blaming a lack of alignment. I'm being a bit cynical now. Instead of actually adjusting or course correcting your strategy. And it's not repeating affirmations when you haven't actually done the work on yourself, which means you're actually still doubting yourself because your deep-rooted beliefs are that you can't have the success you want. But if I stand in front of a mirror and tell myself I can, it'll all be okay. Yes, that was the cynic in me. Let me be really clear. Your brain is already wired to filter the world through what you focus on. It is your brain. I say this all the time, okay? Your mindset is a part of your brain. Your brain is an amazing tool, but it's your brain. So therefore you get to choose how you utilize this incredible tool to filter the world to what you want to focus on. If you constantly think about how hard things are, your brain will filter the world and find evidence to support it's really hard. If you believe that opportunities are everywhere, your brain will filter and start noticing exactly that. That is not some magical universe responding to your energy. That is your reticular activation system, your reticular activating system, your RAS. Now, I just want to talk about this word universe as well. So when people talk about, the universe has got this to offer, the universe has answered my calls. I say this all the time, right? Here's what I think about the universe. This is Shelley's answer. I want to be really clear. I don't mind if you don't agree with me. I'm just going to share how I see things. The universe is everything that is out there around us. Everything that we want is out there. Everything that we would like to be doing, everything we'd like to have, everything we'd like to feel, it's all out there for the taking in the universe, because the universe is this massive, expansive space around us. That's the universe. It's all out there for the taking, which means any one of us can have it. The challenge is we don't all see it. We don't all believe we can have it. And because we don't believe and we don't see and we're focusing on the wrong things, we don't get those opportunities. We don't take those opportunities. So everything is out there because other people have already got it. Other people are doing it. Other people are having it, being it, doing it, seeing it. It all exists. It's just that we don't use the right filtering system to take ourselves to those things and give ourselves the opportunity. And that's the RAS, the Reticular Activating System. So scientifically speaking, let me be really clear. What's the RAS? Okay, as I said, you can go and Google it, but I'll give you the abridged version. The reticular activation system is a network of neurons in your brainstem. It's at the base of your neck. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll see me pointing to the base of my neck. And basically they act as a filter for all of the information that is coming at you. Because there's a lot, right? If you think about the world today, your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of data every single second. And we couldn't possibly cope with all that information. So the job of the reticular activation system is to filter and decide what's important for you based on what you are focusing on, essentially based on what you're thinking. Which is why I always talk about mindset. Everything starts with what you think, what you believe. Your beliefs are your thoughts. Now, Mel Robbins, I've mentioned her already. I listened to a podcast of hers ages ago now, and she described the RAS as like a hairnet for the brain. So it was kind of filtering in terms of what it lets in and what it doesn't let in. Now, the best example of this, and this is the one that everybody uses, so I'm just going to be really clear because it works, all right? If you drive, okay, think about the last time you decided to buy a new car. So we have a car here, we have a Pajero, we had a red Mini. That was my favourite example here. So we had a red Mini back in the UK before we came to Dubai. And the day that we decided we were going to buy this particular red Mini, on the way home, everywhere, every car seemed to be a red Mini. It seems like you see that car everywhere. This like resonates for everyone. It's like pregnant women. Like when women are trying to get pregnant, they see pregnant women everywhere. The more you focus on something, the more you see it. That is your reticular activation system in process. So with the car piece, we've all done it. The minute that you decide what car you're going to buy, you seem to see them anywhere. You're like, oh my God, I didn't realise how popular they were. They're no more popular or common than they were before you decided. Your brain has started paying attention. And actually what it's done is it's filtered out what's not relevant. You don't care about silver Mondeos or blue BMWs because you're thinking about the red Mini you're about to buy. You're not interested in non-pregnant people because you're thinking about how you want to be pregnant and how everybody else seems to be pregnant. And oh my God, look, everyone is. This is happening all the time in business and in life. Your reticular activation system is constantly in process, filtering what you need because of what you are focusing on. So if you tell yourself you are not good enough, your brain filters out everything that might come in contradiction, that might come, you know what I'm saying, right? It filters out anything that says you are good enough and reinforces the belief that you're not good enough. If you start focusing on solutions and opportunities, your brain will show you proof of solutions and opportunities. If you focus on positive things, your brain will show you more positive things. That's the law of attraction. It's not magic, it's mindset, and it's because of neuroscience. So the question that's on everyone's lips, okay, so we watch everybody on the socials, I manifested my $1 million house. I saw it, I put a picture on my vision board, and every day I told myself that will be my house. And suddenly it was. No, it was not. It's not like that at all. But you can make the law of attraction work for you in a non-woo curious, okay? And by woo curious, what I mean is I am absolutely open to conversations with people who have a different view. I'm absolutely open to understanding more around the science and the spirituality of our world. But I also know that the law of attraction is not about sitting back, putting together my vision board and hoping. But what you can do is you can use the principles to get real results. And so I'm just going to be really, really swift with you. And I'm going to share with you, yes, I believe in the law of attraction. And this is how I believe we can use the law of attraction from a science and real life perspective to get real results. First of all, you have to get really clear what you want. Okay, you need to be really clear. What are you working for? What are you working towards? What are you trying to achieve? What's the things that you really want? And we're not very good at that. Okay, we're not very good at being really clear what we want because actually most of us have been taught that we shouldn't be really clear what we want, that it's selfish, that you're not going to have it anyway, that, you know, it's ungrateful to want more, you know, all the narrative. I remember hearing someone once talk about actually even down to like as children when we have birthday cakes and they light the candles and everyone sings happy birthday. And then you're told to make a wish, but don't tell anyone because it won't come true. What a subliminal message. So we're not very good at admitting what we really want. We're certainly not very good at telling the world what we want. But your reticular activation system needs something specific to focus on. I say to the She is Courageous Collective every single month when we have our goal setting sessions, vague goals get vague results. Vague dreams are the same. If you don't know what you want, you will never get it because you don't know what it is you're trying to get. So you've got to be really, really clear. Define what it is that you are trying to work towards. Define what success actually looks like for you. Because the clearer you are, the more that your brain and your reticular activation system can work with you to find the steps to get there. Then you do have to do a bit of work on you. I'm all about the mindset. You can't just think your way to believing that you can have what you want. Okay? You have to rewire your beliefs. And the way you do that is by showing yourself what you are capable of. Now, I talk about this with confidence all the time. Confidence doesn't come from pushing yourself to do something, because actually it's confidence that stops you pushing yourself to do something. Confidence comes by showing yourself what you're already capable of. And it's the same with rewiring beliefs. So if you say, I really want this to happen, and you know I'm doing all the right stuff, but you don't truly believe you can have it, I'm going to use a car analogy again. It's like having one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake, okay? You have to believe that you are capable, that you are deserving. So you have to work on your mindset. And if you can go back to the episode all around limiting beliefs, I'll put the link in the show notes. to understand if you have a belief that you are not capable, that you are not deserving, that you are not good enough, whatever it is that will stop you getting what you want. Okay, so the reticular activation system will work with you and show you opportunities. But if you've then got a thought process that is you don't believe you can have, it will also go, well, let me show you proof you can't. So you have to work on your belief for your brain and your RAS to help you see the proof. The more evidence you collect, the stronger the belief becomes. So as per the limiting beliefs episode, you have to catch, challenge and change those thoughts. And then what you do is you train almost your brain to work for you, not against you. The more you focus on the opportunities, the more you focus on the solutions, the more you focus on the thing that you're trying to get to, the more your brain will filter for them. So there's a really practical way you can do this. This is a really great practical exercise where you are retraining your brain to filter and work with you to the things you're trying to achieve, to the wins that you want. And that is every day, write down 3 wins. Every day, write down 3 signs of progress. Show your brain that you are moving forward. I don't go in for toxic positivity. I am not telling you to think positive. What I want to help you build is a mindset of possibility. And we do that by training our brain to see what is already there. That way it looks for more. What you have to do is stop waiting for a sign. The universe isn't going to give you a sign. If you are constantly looking for external validation, your reticular activation system will keep showing you the doubts, because ultimately you are looking for someone else to give you the answers, not looking internally at yourself and looking at your own evidence. The only way to shift this is to show yourself what you have already achieved, what you are already capable of. And that way you have the courage, this is the She is Courageous podcast, to take the next action, because you have to stop waiting for a sign, you have to decide and you have to act. The reticular activation system will work with you and say, hey, look, there's an opportunity, but you have to act on that opportunity. Confidence is built through action. Courage is what moves you into action. And then what you have to do is surround yourself with, I guess the only phrase I've got right now is the right stimuli, the right people, the right environment. Your environment matters. If you're surrounded by negativity, you will be giving your brain more negative to think about and focus on, and guess what? You'll find more negative. Spend time with people who think bigger. Spend time with people who take action. Spend time with people who push you to do the same. Get clear on what you really want, and then you've got to back that up with the action. And the actions are rewiring your beliefs, working on your mindset, catching, challenging, changing the limiting beliefs that are stopping you taking action, moving forward to the things you want. Train your reticular activation system. Write down 3 wins every day, 3 signs of progress. Show your brain more and more evidence of what you are capable of. That's building confidence. It's retraining the brain, which is then in turn opening up the thought process and the focus on the things you want it to be. Decide and act. And if you're struggling to do that, because actually it's scary, then surround yourself with the right people, the right stimuli, the right environment to help you get courageous and take action. And of course, what I'm basically saying underlying this message is join the She is Courageous Collective. That is exactly what we're all about. This podcast is She is Courageous. If you want to be more courageous, if you want to think bigger, take more action, push yourself to do the very things that you know will get you to where you want to go. Stop waiting for the universe. Decide and take action. So look, let me be really clear. I believe in the law of attraction, but I do not believe it is about the universe magically delivering your dreams. The secret has got a lot to answer for, because the bit the secret doesn't tell you is all the hard work that goes in along the way, all the action that gets taken. The way you think shapes the way you show up. And that is what then shapes how you behave and what you do. And that shapes your results. So if you want the law of attraction to really work for you, think about what you're thinking about. work with your reticular activation system and help it filter out the stuff that's not going to help you and bring in and make more space for what is going to help you. And here's a little challenge for you. Why not, over the next 7 days, go actively looking for proof of what you want is possible? And if you write down 3 signs of progress every single day, you will be astounded at what you see and what becomes available to you, because it's already there. It's just waiting for you to see it. I would love to hear your thoughts on the law of attraction. Do you think that I'm wrong and actually the universe does deliver? Have you got examples and stories of that? I'd love you to tell me. I'd love you to share this episode widely with your audience and tag me with your law of attraction stories. And if it has made you rethink the way that you approach how you go for your goals and how you work with the law of attraction, I'd love to hear about that too.